Hey, do you hear that? What is that noise? I don't know. Don't worry about it. Are you sure it's okay? I'm pretty sure. Don't worry about it. Just move forward. You think that's how the conversation went over there at the CDC when they found out that there was a leak in their system? Well, I come to believe that it's not a leak. I think it was designed like that, and a guest pointed it out. And now it's been spun under the guise of, oops, look, there's a design flaw in the system. You're asking why I would make these assumptions? Well, I've read the internet probably a couple times now. That's an exaggeration, but I've stumbled across a couple things, and the word ventilation or airflow is the link for me to connect the dots where this rabbit ran to. So let's run with me here. This is experimentalvaccines.org, and I'm going to show you a history of the CDC and how the Army has gone from testing its soldiers to infiltrating into the public domain, and now they test on you. All right, let's go chase some rabbits.
I ain't nobody rabbit!
Here we land on ABC News, the first destination in our march through the mainstream madness of predictive programming. You'll see that the title here, Air Leak Sparks Safety Fears at CDC Bioterror Lab. I like how they use the word bioterror there. It used to just be called the Bio Lab, but I guess we're living in a new world now. Let's scroll down here a little bit. I want to point some things out. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the federal agency charged with preventing the spread of infectious disease, has come under attack today for serious airflow problems in an Atlantic building that houses anthrax, SARS, and monkeypox. When I see the word anthrax there, I can't help but think of Amerithrax. Anyway, not to chase that rabbit too far. Documents and emails obtained by USA Today suggest that a poorly engineered airflow system in the CDC's Building 18 could expose unprotected staff and visitors to dangerous airborne pathogens. As the door closed, a very noticeable puff of air could be felt coming through the slit in the window out into the clean corridor. CDC Safety Inspector Eddie Jackson wrote in February's 16th email to a top safety official after feeling airflow out of potentially contaminated lab and into a communal hallway. Let's keep marching forward here. I think you're going to find this interesting. Now we're on that USA Today page they mentioned. Airflow problems plague CDC Bioterror Lab. Once again, we've got the CDC Bioterror Lab praised. And you can see here it's a $214 million facility. And they have a problem with airflow. Let's scroll down just a little bit here. I want to read you something. Here we go. The area of the building with the problem involves Biosafety Level 3 lab that can be used for experiments involving anthrax, dangerous strains of influenza, the SARS coronavirus, monkeypox, and other microbes that have the potential to be used as bioweapons. Now, like I said, I've read a bunch on the internet and it reminded me of something, so walk with me here. All right, time for a brief history lesson. Okay, don't make that face. All right, this is going to be interesting, I promise. Now we're on an Army.mil site. Okay, so this is the United States Biological Warfare and Biological Defense Programs. These are the missions that they made up until 1977. All of this was secret, and then they had to admit it in front of Congress. And this was some of the omissions that they made. Let's go with it here. I'm going to roll down and show you the meat and potatoes. Let's start right here. This won't take long. A secret biological warfare program. The idea of biological weaponry was controversial since little was known about the predictability or effectiveness of biological weapons in wartime. President Roosevelt approved the plan in 1942, and the War Reserve Service, headed by George W. Merck, was established and attached to the Federal Security Agency, a New Deal agency of the Department of Agriculture. The War Reserve Service started out in mid-1942 with a budget of $200,000. Secret work began under Merck's direction at 28 American universities, including Harvard, Stanford, and other top schools. Now that's the first piece of the puzzle I wanted to show you, how the military slowly infused some money into the public system and then were able to set up shop at the universities. Let's scroll down here just a little further. Stay with me here. Here we go. Mr. Merck, the head of the War Reserve Service, in his final report to the Security of War, noted that, although remarkable achievements had been made, the potential of biological warfare had by no means been completely measured. He recommended that the program be continued on a sufficient scale to provide an adequate defense. So basically, he's asking for the program to be expanded. The parameters of his studies aren't big enough. And you'll see here, this report is called the Baldwin Report. And here, the number 3 is the one. Let me scroll just up a little bit here. Number 3 is the one I want to point out. This is his recommendations. Methods be assessed for dissemination of biological agents, with emphasis on application to special operations. Here's one of the special operations. Specifically recommended were research programs such as the testing of innocuous organisms in the ventilation systems, subway systems, and public water supplies. See, so there's the connection, the airflow. They had plans on releasing this in the ventilation systems, and they did release it in the ventilation systems in 1966, I believe. No, that was the subway in New York. They did this all up and down the coast. So let's keep running here. I'm going to show you something. This is today, right? There's a map here of all the high contaminant labs or high containment labs they have across the United States. Now, I'm going to leave links to all these maps and stuff are on my website. You could come there. Let's head over there right now. What I wanted to show you here is how far we've come in history from 1942, where Merck, this is head of the Merck vaccines, which was the first bioweapon they decided to run with as far as a way to mass inoculate the public. And when I mean inoculate, I mean infect. Damage your immune system to the point that your body, whenever it becomes into an environment where there's any type of bacteria, viruses, molds, or funguses, you're more susceptible to them infecting you, or getting you sick. Why is that a point? Because all these are now ran by pharmaceutical companies that are owning the globe and one arm of the New World Order. So let's look here at a list of all the bio level 3 facilities, and you'll notice that they're all colleges. The level of or the saturation that Merck's been able to acquire through funding research programs and foundations, and all of this, ladies and gentlemen, is through your tax dollar. So if you want to fight the New World Order and expose them for who they are, I suggest come to my website, learn a little bit, click some of the buttons. I have hundreds of hours worth of videos here. If you need some vaccine exemption forms, I have them here listed by state. They're all free. Everything here is free. Inform yourself, spread the word, follow me on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Subscribe to my website here, just in case something happens to any of my other channels. And spread my videos. The best thing you can do, the one way you can help out right now, is just to repost this on your Facebook, to tweet it, to share it with some friends, or just make fun of it, because that's all we can do, ladies and gentlemen, nowadays, is either cry, yell, or laugh. And what I'm going to choose to do is just laugh. So have a good day, fight the New World Order, and I will see you next time.